Fear to lose titles. Meghan frantically urges Harry to pressure King Charles after consecutive defeats in the U.S. An LA source has just reported that Meghan is scared of losing the title of Duchess of Sussex. The current charm offensive that her new PR has put into full swing is a desperate attempt to secure her title and the titles that the children have. But she has experienced a big shock, the outpouring of love and respect for the monarchy from all around the world, and the smooth transition of Charles to king was simply not what Meghan anticipated. For nearly 3 years, of course, Meghan and Harry have made themselves crazy trying to discredit the royal family, and all they really did was discredit themselves. So for now at least, they've decided to forget this whole humanitarian philanthropist theme. Instead, right now, they're trying to portray Meghan as this domesticated mother, softly spoken and sweet, somebody who has overcome more adversaries than one victim should ever have to deal with, until, of course, the titles are safe. But unfortunately for Meghan and Harry, Charles was raised to believe that duty always has to come first. So King Charles is going to do what is right. As heir to the throne, William is always going to have input in what decisions are made. And why do those parents want titles anyway? I thought their whole aim in life was to keep the kids away from the paparazzi and the media. Giving them titles while they live in the US only makes them more of a target. And the US doesn't want them anyway. I have heard that the Hollywood crowd they're so desperate to be a part of have closed ranks and they completely ignore the two of them. It's not that complicated. I figured out in preschool that if you want to have a friend, you have to be a friend. And that doesn't include friends who are only there when they want or need something, also known as a fair weather friend. It's time for the two of them to grow up and start acting like real adults. They believe that people only exist to meet their every little whim, to fight their battles for them, and if there's not a battle, well, don't worry, they'll create one. And it seems like they truly are the aggressors in their attempt to get their way against a 1,000-year-old institution that was doing just fine without the two of them. Not to get overly political, but they probably have better luck pleading their case with Trump. You know what they say, birds of a feather. I wish the best, though, for King Charles and Queen Camilla and Prince William and Catherine as they have to bear the brunt of this disastrous pair. Actions do have consequences. Maybe it's time for the king to up the ante. Maybe Princess Anne could help him out if he needs it. After all, she's a hero in my book. Meghan and Harry need to lose those titles, and the invisible children don't deserve to have them either. If they're real, which many people claim that they're not real, whatever the truth may be, the king needs to make sure that he is dealing with Meghan and Harry now, or I'm afraid that his reign is going to be tainted by their lies and people saying that he's dithering over his own son. Somebody has got to put a stop to this, and the public is going to support King Charles for taking a stand. But if he doesn't do that, then it may be the shortest reign in history, and whether the Republican movement gets their way to abolish the monarchy is going to be on King Charles. This is not about family issues. This is about truth or lies and standing up to Meghan once and for all. And if the children are real, they're Americans. They don't need titles. They shouldn't have titles. They really need to limit the titles to the working royals only. Now, those children, if they really exist, and if they really are Harry's, are going to live in the USA until they're at least 18 years old. The kids are being raised in the US where titles are not recognized, and the kids are probably going to be made fun of anyway for having them. It's a real shame that it's come to this, but Meghan and Harry are the ones who created this whole situation, and as a result, their kids are going to live different lives than they would have in the UK. That is the reality that they're facing here. For those titles to have any real meaning whatsoever, the kids have to live in the UK, and Meghan is never going to let that happen. I'm guessing Harry also found out that his title does not hold much weight in the US other than it being a curiosity. I'm also shocked at the absolute deafness of these two sycophants. How can you put on a charm offensive without any charm whatsoever? I mean, come on, Meghan is not some kind of suburban, softly spoken mommy who loves to take care of her children. She doesn't have any charm. Her speech is always riddled with sarcasm, and she has a really acidic tone. Her being a loving, devoted mother is pretty absurd. For us to believe that Meghan Markle really is this nice mom, she would have to be kind first and foremost, even motherly. She would actually have to go to a linguist to change the way that she talks, because she always talks like everybody else is so stupid and she's so much better than everybody. Her tone is always dripping with sarcasm, and she has a really abrasive quality to her speech. Even the word salads are so obnoxious, and that's mostly what she speaks in. And the titles are all Meghan really has. Without the titles, she's just a nobody. I mean, she's still a nobody, but she's convinced herself that she really is somebody thanks to that stupid title. Giving the invisible children titles only gave Meghan Markle a way to use them to make money. What a mother she is. I mean, the kids, if they really exist, have to be taken away from her. They are neglected and they need separation from this disturbed woman. Meghan and Harry have gone way past the point of no return. And I do think that they're going to lose their titles. That's something that Meghan never would have considered in her grand plans. When she no longer has the title along with Harry, she's going to be a has-been. You know, she really could have had it all, actually. She had the world offered to her on a silver platter. But no, she was too greedy, and she wanted something that she simply was not entitled to be. And of course, that was her downfall. It's pitiful, too, because Meghan is justifying herself all the time. She is such a nasty piece of work. She doesn't have any real depth of character. Instead, she's much more like a shark. She needs to have a personality transplant, and she needs to have a different body if the charm offensive is going to work. As things stand, it's just plain old offensive. There's nothing charming about it. Fortunately, King Charles in his first speech talked about the two of them and addressed them as Harry and Meghan. He didn't call them the Duke and Duchess. He addresses William and Catherine as the Prince and Princess of Wales. Now, to me, that says a lot. And from what I understand, he didn't let Meghan come to Balmoral as the Queen was passing. Judging by what he's done so far, I don't think that he's weak. I think that Her Late Majesty the Queen began the process of removing the titles before she passed away. It takes some time, though. It's a long process. And so far, he has not been giving in to them. If he was going to allow them to hold on to those titles, he would have called them the Duke and Duchess, and he didn't. I know there are a lot of people out there who want King Charles to get on with the process of cutting Meghan and Harry off from the royal family forever. They just need to be patient. The monarchy did not get to be this old by acting in haste. The king and his advisors are certainly paying out rope with dignity, and Meghan and Harry are just going to use it to hang themselves. In the meantime, though, the monarchy has much more important work to do than get involved in these little fights with Meghan and Harry. I mean, the two of them are better left on their own. They're going to fight even if they don't have anybody to fight with. He is right on the ball, and he's always going to do what is best for the monarchy. And if that includes taking the titles away from Harry and Meghan, then that is what he will do. He understands that he has a strong and well-loved heir in William, and he's going to concentrate on that. He also knows that most people in the UK do understand that Charles has been and still is a wonderful and deserving heir to the late Queen. And you, do you agree with me? Please continue to discuss them with us below in the comments section. Remember to like and share my video with your friends and relatives who need it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.